How's it going, everyone? Welcome to lesson 4 of the School of Elliott. Today we're going to be talking about zigzag and flat correction ratios. So as you see here, I have two figures already set up. First one is a zigzag, second one is a flat, same from the last lesson. So starting with the zigzag, the main ratios we're going to look for, again, we already went over last lesson that corrective waves only happen after an impulse. So with that being said, after we have our impulse, we spot a wave A of a zigzag. Again, that's, if you guys remember correctly, just an impulse downward after a main impulse. Then we spot a B. So let's say B has not come into play yet. We can go ahead and predict where B is going to end up at. How do you do that? Well, remember from lesson 1, on any corrective wave of a main trend, so in this case on a zigzag, since we're heading into a reversal of trends and a downtrend, B is going to be our corrective wave in this whole corrective structure. Granted, the whole thing is a corrective structure. B will be the main corrective wave. So, with that being said, we are going to use the retracement tool. We're going to start from the beginning of A to the end of A. We're going to go ahead and fill in all our ratios here. Now, the main ratios we're going to be looking for on a wave B, they are going to be these ratios here. So the 0.382, the 50%, 0.618, and the 786. There is another one. However, it's rare that it'll reach in a ratio of 85%. If so, it's probably going to be considered a flat correction. So the four you would want to pay attention to, again, are going to be the 0.382, the 50%, 0.618, and the 786. So B will either be on any of these ratios, except the 90. 50 and the 0.382 being the most common. We'll just put it at the 50% for this one. So we found out our ratio for B. Now, how do we find C? C, since it is going in the same direction of the main trend in our downtrend here of our correction, we are going to use a trend-based fib extension. So a nice little rule to keep in mind is, if you notice so far in all the structures we've went over, they're an odd number of waves in each structure. So a good rule of thumb to remember is all odd waves are going to use a trend-based fib extension, and all even waves are going to use a retracement. So what do I mean by that? A being the first wave, C being the third wave. They're both going to use the extension. B being an odd wave, obviously you're going to use a retracement. So back to this, how do we find C? Use a trend-based fib extension. You're going to start from the beginning of A to the end of A to the end of B. The ratios you should be looking for here are going to be as followed. You are going to look for the 68.618%. You're going to look for the 100%, as well as the 1, 2, 3, 6. So all of which are highlighted. C can reach any of these levels. You can have a C here, you can have a C here, and you can have a C here. All right, so for this figure, we're going to put it at the 100%. And that is just basically how to predict where C will end up as well as B on a zigzag correction. Now moving on to flats. We are going to erase all this. Moving on to flats. Now, with a flat correction, it's going to be a little different. Mainly the same thing. Again, it's going to come after an impulse wave. You'll have an A coming down. It will be a three-wave structure. Remember how we talked about that last lesson? A will be a three-wave structure down following an impulse. B, again, will be another three-wave structure. Where will B end? That is the question. So to figure out B, again, we're going to use a retracement from the beginning of A to the end of A. Go ahead and fix our ratios. The ratios we want to look for mainly are going to be the 90% of A. So B will end there. So find C. Pretty much going to follow the same ratios for a regular zigzag on C. Either going to hit the 68, but for a regular flat, we already know that C has to surpass the endpoint of A. So in this case, it will either be the 100% or it'll be the 1.236. So for this one, we're going to put it at the 100%. And there's that. Now, again, there are going to be two other types of flats. The second is going to be an expanded flat. So here you're going to be looking for, in an expanded flat, either the 1.236 for a wave B. Where is this at? 1.236. So B will retrace further than the starting point of A. And then your C, again, will reach either the 1.236. Now these ratios are going to be a little different. You can either have the 100%, the 1.236, or you can have the 1.618. So in this case, we're going to put it at the 1.618 only because it looks better. It looks like a full extended flat. Now the third type of flat is going to be a running flat. Again, you'll have B hitting the same ratios on a running flat. C will either hit the 100% or the 0.618. So again, C in a running flat will not surpass the endpoint of A, so you'll either be heading for the 100% or the 0.618. All right, and that is about it for lesson 4, zigzag and flat correction ratios. We will see you guys on lesson 5, and